World with our press reviewer, Florence Villeminot. Hi, Flo. Still a lot of focus today on the developing story there in Ferguson, Missouri.
Absolutely. And there's a very interesting piece I pulled out of Slate that points out that apparently some countries are delighted about what's happening in Missouri. You can see the headline here. The world's dictators love the unrest in Ferguson. Now, they're usually at the receiving end of U.S. criticism for their crackdowns on public protests, and now they're having a field day turning the tables on Washington. Now, I pulled out one article from the Egyptian press, from Daily News, which is the latest to express its deep concern, and it quotes the spokesman from the Egyptian Foreign Ministry who calls for restraint and respect for the right of assembly and peaceful expression of opinion. Now, Egyptians are not the only ones. You also have Russians, Iranians, and Chinese papers coming out to make comments. I pulled out a quote as well from China's state-run Xinhua news agency that recently said the United States needs to concentrate on solving its own problems rather than always pointing the finger at others.
Well, within the United States, it seems that President Obama is getting quite a dose of criticism as well.
That's right. Now, a lot of politicians, political scientists, artists are calling for the U.S. president to do more, to maybe be more, show more emotion. For instance, the musician Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, he recently had a video message for Obama where he said, "You need to get on the plane. These are your people. It's serious." Now, this article in the Washington Post says it is serious, but there's not much that Obama can actually do. And this article actually comes to Obama's defense and says that in the face of unrealistic expectations, he is being neither silent nor disengaged. Obama is letting the Department of Justice and the FBI do their jobs. And because of the ongoing investigation, the last thing anybody should want, according to this article, is for the president to be rhetorically reckless in talking about the killing of Michael Brown.
All right, Flo, let's come back here to France, where the spotlight is on the government here, which is finally getting back to work after its summer break.
That's right. It's back to school for the French government. A lot of French papers are focusing on this. This is the front page of Le Parisien that says that, well, President Hollande is in the spotlight. It's a risky situation because on the one hand, he's facing a disastrous economic situation. He's also facing a rebellion within the Socialist Party. They're known as Les Frondeurs here in France. It's basically the left wing of the Socialist Party that feels that Hollande's policies are too pro-business. Now, they're on the front page of Le Figaro, which is also talking about them in their editorial today. Le Figaro says that these frondeurs, these rebellious socialists, are a real threat for François Hollande because they're arguing in favor of old-fashioned leftist politics. They're going to bring France to its knees. That's what Le Figaro says in its editorial. And it actually says the government could use this group of rebels as a bellwether of what they shouldn't do. It says that this group of rebellious socialists is like a compass that shows the wrong direction to go in, the path towards destruction.
All right, now the left-leaning newspaper Libération is focusing on an important increase in dividend payouts.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of Libération. It's focusing on the dividends that French companies distribute to shareholders, which increased by 30% in the second trimester. You can see here what Libération, left-leaning paper, thinks about it. They call it indecency. According to Libération, this 30% increase is disgusting. They say ahurissant, stunning, a very strong word. And in its editorial, Libération is really outraged today. It says that this is a slap in the face from business owners to the socialist government. It's crazy, according to Libération, because the government is spending public money to help businesses and boost job creation, and businesses, in turn, are handing out cash to private shareholders. According to Libération, we're talking about 40 billion euros. This is money that the French economy needs. And to quote the editorial, it says that it's as if the short-term interests of shareholders is more important than the long-term interests of the country.
All right, finally, bad news for all of you travelers across Northern Europe. It's a bit of back to the future, perhaps, with the eruption of another volcano in Iceland.
That's right. It seems like the Icelandic media are having their moment in the spotlight. I pulled out this article from Iceland Review. It's very useful. It teaches us how to pronounce the name of this volcano. Let's take a listen. They have a little video that teaches us just how to pronounce it.
Bárðarbunga. Bárðarbunga. Bárðarbunga.
Now, there's definitely some letters there that I have never seen.
I'm not even going to try.
It reminds me of that other volcano back in 2010 that grounded a lot of flights at that time. I remember at the time just saying it's the Icelandic volcano. I think that's a safe way of talking about
That
it.
classic journalism rule, when in doubt, leave it out. Thank you so much, Florence Villeminot. Time now for sports. On France 24, we'll start with the Champions League.